Welcome to the Writer's Way podcast, where we celebrate writers who have completed their books and inspire writers who haven't. Join Laurie and her guests as they talk about writing, books, and life in between chapters.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of the Writer's Way podcast. I'm here with Alison Klakowicz. Did I say it right?
Yeah, you did. Very good.
Mommy's Big Red Monster Truck. I love it.
Yay.
You have a big red monster truck?
Do I have one?
Yes.
Of course, that's always the number one question that everyone wants to know. No, I do not.
I'm picturing you, and you're,
Yeah, maybe one day, but no, unfortunately, no, I just drive a regular old mom
minivan. Okay, well, Alison, why don't you share with us a bit about your background and, how you started out and how you ended up with the book?
Okay. My background, I worked in human services for many years in a counseling profession. But prior to that, I was an English major many years ago with a focus on creative writing. Started, writing seriously probably in high school, later part of high school and through my college years. I wrote for newspaper and have done freelance, but have always had a great love of children's literature and always wanted to publish a children's book. And so the desire was always there. But my son, who is 7 now, when he was a toddler, was absolutely addicted, obsessed with monster trucks. Everything was monster truck. We had monster trucks everywhere. He had to wear monster truck clothes. It was a big deal. So I'd drive him to preschool in the mornings, and big trucks would pass us by, and he'd, exclaim, "Mom, there's a monster truck. You need to drive a big red monster truck." And hence what, the idea for my story came from that. So that's a bit of my background and my inspiration for where the book came.
And so when did you start working on it? So you had that inspiration when he was in preschool, but he's 7 now. So that's
right. Years ago, I wrote down a basic storyline and just kind of held on to it until, the right time. And so, like I said, I had worked in human services full-time for many years. And a few years ago, about 3.5 years ago, I decided to make a big change. I left my career. We are a military family here in the U.S., in the Southeast U.S., in North Carolina. And so my husband travels a lot with the military. He's very busy. And we decided so that I could have a little more time at home and be able to finally truly focus on my creative pursuits. So that's when I came home. I had to kind of get myself used to being home after working professionally for 17 years. I didn't know, even when my child was born, I pretty much went right back to work. So it was a whole new lifestyle. But I told myself, I am going to do this. And I have other writing interests as well outside of just children's books, but I knew that I was going to utilize my time well. And I was going to make a plan, and I'd start researching what was out there. And so that's what I did. I spent a lot of time writing and researching and trying to figure out how to do it. So last winter, I was like, okay, it's time. And I, again, was researching online, specifically children's book publishers. And I was not interested in doing Amazon or the self-publishing, because I didn't have the illustrations. I do love to paint and doodle, and I have a very, very tiny little art business, but I wasn't confident enough in my skills yet. So I was really pleased when I found out about a hybrid publisher in Canada, in Victoria, Brazen Press, and talked with their representatives, and I loved everything that they offered. And with publishing, they would provide a distributor, which interested me, as well as illustrations and a design team. So last March, I believe it was, I signed with Friesen, and the rest is history. We got busy. Yeah.
March 2018?
Yes.
And when was the book published?
The book was published in November.
Wow, fast.
Yes. So we're, this is all, I'm just getting really my feet wet, getting started, and it's exciting.
So can you share, explain to me, I was 5, what a hybrid publisher is? Because a lot of people hear these terms and they don't know what to make of it.
Okay. Well, a traditional publisher basically does all, you seek out a traditional publisher, they accept you, they publish and do most of your marketing, but I've heard of otherwise in that sometimes too. But with a hybrid publisher, it is both self-publishing and a combination of certain things that a traditional publisher would offer, like having a distribution company. I didn't want to have to handle massive amounts of books shipped to me, even though I do purchase outright and sell at events and do different things, but I wanted to have a distributor there to print the books and do all that for me. So I basically earn royalties from where the book is distributed under Ingram, is who my distributor is. Yes.
Okay.
And they offer some, they have promotional specialists, an entire production team. So it was very team oriented. They were very professional. And as a first time author, I knew I wanted to produce a really beautiful quality book, and I needed help. I wasn't there in the place where I thought I was ready to do that all by myself. And I'm really glad I didn't. It worked out for me. Yeah. So, other people are doing great in direct, they're total self-publishing. But for me, this has been a really beautiful relationship. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're really multi-passionate. You have a lot on the go, and to self-publish well, there's a lot of skills, so if you don't have them already, there's so many different aspects to it that go into it. So it is overwhelming. So that's fantastic that Friesen Press, that you found them and that it worked out for you.
And they don't just kind of, the minute the book comes out, they don't just leave you hanging. They're still there to encourage you, to provide you information on marketing and how to get the word out. They also helped with design a professional website. Wow. Yes, there were a lot. They assisted with my copyright, my ISBN numbers. They did a lot for me. I paid them to do that. Also, I need to say that I paid them. So it's quite a commitment. But my husband and I felt like it was, investing in a business, and we just looked at it from that mindset that, we would have to invest. So it's been well worth it.
Okay. And do you have to do the bulk of your marketing then, just with their guidance, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because from a self-publishing point of view, it is my book. It's 100% my copyright. It's my responsibility.
You're on the hook. Yeah. Did you learn anything throughout the process that surprised you or that was unexpected?
Oh God, yeah, a lot of different things. I'm trying to think of what in particular. Just the learning process of how a book is published, number one, all of the detail and steps that go into creating a book, especially children's book, when taking consideration with, like, for the illustrations, every detail matters. It's a big deal. The illustrations help make the book what it is. They bring the storyline to life. So, and working with the team, how specific I had to be, and details of what I wanted for background colors of,
So you had a lot of input.
Yes, yeah, oh, definitely. I had to tell them what I wanted to see on every page, basically.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There was, some creative input on their behalf, but they wanted me to feel like, this was 100% what I wanted and what I was asking for.
And I imagine as you're writing it, you have that vision in your head. So to see something like with a traditional publisher, you don't have any say. So then to see something that maybe doesn't align with the vision you have in your head would be difficult. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's hard sometimes to say what you want and to figure it out.
And there were times where they would come with, an image would have people or certain things, and I would be like, no, I don't think that's what I want.
Okay.
But very rarely they did an excellent job. So that was one thing, just, how much time, how much effort goes into it. Marketing. Wow. Marketing is the hard part. This is the real part. Yeah. And so I'm getting a real education on what works, what doesn't work. And, it's definitely trial and error. And again, researching to where your eyes are.
Yeah. It's interesting.
You're so overwhelmed.
You're kind of like me, that you had your idea, but you didn't do anything on it for years, and so the actual publishing becomes that huge mountain to climb. And then once you're over it, the marketing is an even bigger one that you never saw. Yeah. Oh, that was actually not that hard, but yeah, actually selling it.
Yes. And I've had it's awesome. There's been so much support, though. The writing community in itself is just so supportive. I've been really impressed, especially those of us who are along the lines of self-publishing. Not that traditional published authors or writers aren't supportive. They are, but there's definitely a community, and the internet is such a wonderful thing. Social media, bringing everyone together.
Yes.
And being able to share different ideas, and it's so neat to connect with people from all over the world. So
I often say that as well. I sound like a 5-year-old. The internet, like it's new. But it's just
for those of us too that didn't grow up with the internet, and I mean, I'm 43, and so the internet wasn't a thing throughout my schooling,
No. And there's so much potential, like you said. Yeah, I talk to people all over the world, and it's just like, where are you? You're in Guam, and here we are, and we're friends. And
I have to share this while we're on the topic of people all over the world. I just got this in the mail this week, and I'm so excited. But it was from a social media contact that I made, and a lady by the name of Deborah Williams, who is a children's book author and puppeteer and puppet maker in New South Wales, Australia. She hand makes puppets, and an author in California who I've been introduced to, Donna Cowan, who wrote the With the Courage of a Mouse, the superhero school series. She had worked with Deborah, and Deborah made a puppet for her character in her children's book. So I just thought that was fabulous. I was like, I need this in my life. I have this personality. I need this. And so this week, Mommy's Big Red Monster Truck came in the mail. My very own handmade personal puppet that I cannot wait to implement as part of my author event. So, and these are little finger puppets that come out of the cab.
Oh, that's so cool. Wow, so much work to create.
Yeah. The detailing is beautiful. She did an awesome job.
That's fantastic. You'll have to give me her info because some people might want to look her up.
Yes, I will. Definitely. It's Kluwer Puppets, and I'll spell it out for you, and you can link it. But she's fabulous. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you do author events. What do you do?
I've been visiting libraries, independent bookstores, and this spring started going into elementary schools. So that's been really fun. I've had a blast. So normally what I do is a reading. I'll open it up with a small introduction. You know, normally my audience is like very young, so their attention spans can only handle so much.
Yeah.
Get on with it, lady. But I tell them a little bit about my inspiration for the book, and then I read the book to them, and then we do a little question and answer where they can ask me different questions about either what they learned from the book or what what they liked about the book, or what and because it is a travel and adventure story time about a mom and a son and their book, you know, they always are very eager to tell me about where they have traveled with their families and what experiences they've had, or if they've been to a monster truck jam show or something like that. You know, it's fun. So
is it more about the traveling and adventure than it is about monster trucks? Like, are you a monster truck expert?
No, not at all. No. The monster truck is just the awesome vehicle that allows this really cool mom and son to be able to travel and make memories together. And I think whether they're traveling in their community doing their daily routine, or if they are, you know, traveling across the US, and basically that's what they do. They wind up doing a travel across the United States, and then even talk about visiting Canada and going to England to visit the Queen
and in the monster truck
and China and all these exotic places. So it's kind of an introduction to social studies, and opening the world up for them to be like, oh, and also since we do live in a military community, we have a very diverse community. Mm-hmm. We have people that have lived all over the world. So it's really cool when they get to see a place in the book where they have lived, because they're like, oh, I live there. I love that. Or I've been and visited there. So yeah, it's a really fun conversation. We also, at the end of my events, normally we do a monster truck craft. So they get to make their very own little construction paper monster truck, and it has we use paper plates as the wheels.
Oh, so it's huge.
And they have such a good time. And I think that's been really the most the funnest part of this whole journey, is being able to get out, read to the kids, talk with them, watch their reactions of the book, and getting the feedback and just spending time with them. It's been really wonderful.
You're enjoying that.
Yeah.
Okay, would you have any wise words of wisdom for people maybe who are like you 3-4 years ago? Their kids have given them this idea. What advice would you give to somebody like you?
Go for it.
Go for it. Just go for it.
Do it. You don't have to up and quit your job like I did. We had a lot of personal decisions to make that may not work for everyone. We had to really think about this. But
and did you quit your job just for the sake of the book, though, or was there other personal?
No, there are personal reasons. But but no. But definitely continue to strive toward that. If you have a story, an idea that you really believe in, most likely it's a good one, and just continue to research. That is a big part of it. And educate yourself about the process. Reach out to writers groups and other authors, and just start talking about it. Believe in yourself.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
It took me 10 years to start talking about my book. It's like I can't tell anybody. It felt so scary.
Right. And it's weird because you feel so insecure about it, and it's such a hokey idea, and I don't deserve. Should I do this? And it's like, why shouldn't you do this?
Why shouldn't?
And now I'm on that other side of the bridge, and I'm like, do it.
And you seem like a normal, typical person. You don't have celebrity friends or anything, but you just did it. I did. You just did it and feel so confident and proud of yourself, I hope.
I do. And I just, again, love meeting so many people like you and all of the other writers and authors and just creative people out there striving to go after their dreams.
Exactly. Just that bucket list item. Well, thank you. Can you share your website with us? And I'll share all the other links that you gave me. And
sure. My website is kind of long. It's my name. I'll hold my book up and then people can see my name. It's
okay, I'll share it.
www.AlisonKlakowicz.com. Also on Facebook under Mommy's Big Red Monster Truck. So if you just put in Mommy's Big Red Monster Truck on Facebook, you can follow me there. And on Twitter under Klakowicz Alison, and on Instagram at Alison Klak.
Okay. And your book's on Amazon?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. We need to send you to, yes. It's on Friesen Press's bookstore online, on Amazon. You can also order it on Barnes & Noble. And then iTunes and Google Play have the e-reader.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure chatting with you, Alison.
It was fun. Thank you, Laurie.
You're welcome. Bye for now.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Writer's Way podcast. For show notes, links to guests' information, and to learn more about the Writer's Way, check out lauriewriter.com. Until next week, enjoy this chapter of your life.